Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real simple, something that changed my life, and I pray it changes yours. Silent discipline brings loud success. See, everybody wants the spotlight, the applause, the fame, the check, but nobody wants to grind when nobody's watching. I didn't get here because I talked about it. I got here because I worked on it when nobody knew my name. Real success doesn't need noise, it needs consistency. We live in a time where everybody wants to be heard, wants to be seen, and wants to go viral overnight. But the truth is, the people who are really winning in life are not the loudest in the room. They're the most consistent. They don't need to shout about what they're doing because they're too busy doing it. Success isn't born in front of a crowd. It's built in silence, through repetition, focus, and quiet effort day after day. It doesn't come from one big move. It comes from 1,000 small ones that nobody sees. That's where consistency becomes your power. It's showing up when you're tired, when it's boring, when no one's watching and no one's cheering. It's not about motivation. It's about discipline. Motivation gets you started, but consistency keeps you going long after the feeling has faded. That's why the people who keep winning are the ones who stick to the process, not the ones who keep talking about the destination. Every great story, every success, every breakthrough has a quiet beginning. There's a chapter no one reads, a season no one. That's the part that matters most. You see the stage, the spotlight, the achievements, but what you don't see is the early mornings, the setbacks, the discipline to keep going even when the results weren't showing up yet. That's what makes the difference. A person who's consistent, even in silence, is building a foundation that can't be shaken. Their success might take time, but when it comes, it lasts. Because it wasn't built on noise, it was built on habits, integrity, and daily effort. Consistency is boring. It's not flashy. It's doing the same good thing over and over again, even when it doesn't feel like it's working. But that's the secret. Every time you stay consistent, you're planting a seed. And when the season is right, all that work starts to show. It becomes something that nobody can deny. That's the kind of success that speaks loud without saying a word. It's real, it's earned, it's respected. You don't need to keep telling people you're going to make it. Just keep doing the work. Keep showing up. The results will speak for you. Let your actions build your voice. Let your consistency create your future, because when you're truly committed to your goal, you won't feel the need to explain it. You'll just live it. You'll keep moving forward, step by step, even if it feels like no one's paying attention, and eventually they will. Not because you told them, but because you showed them. Silent discipline means doing what you said you do long after the mood has left. It's easy to commit to something when you're excited, when inspiration hits, or when you're surrounded by energy and motivation. In those moments, the promises you make to yourself feel strong and unbreakable. You say you're going to wake up early, work out every day, build that business, write that book, or stop wasting time. But the real test doesn't come when the room is full or when the energy is high. The real test comes when you're alone, tired, discouraged, and life isn't giving you any signs that you're moving forward. That's when discipline shows up. Not the loud, dramatic kind of discipline, but the quiet kind. The kind that gets up before the sun without broadcasting it. The kind that turns off distractions even when no one's checking. The kind that holds you to your word even when no one would know if you gave up. That's what separates the dreamer from the doer. Anybody can get fired up in a moment of motivation, but discipline kicks in when the mood disappears. And it will disappear. Emotions fade, circumstances change, people get in your way, obstacles rise up that you never saw coming. But discipline keeps you moving anyway. It reminds you why you started. It tells you to trust the process even when you can't see results. Silent discipline is a promise to yourself that you won't break, not for comfort, not for convenience, not even when doubt creeps in and whispers that it's not worth it. It's not about being seen, it's about being consistent. It's about aligning your actions with your values, no matter how long it takes. When you have that kind of discipline, your energy doesn't go to proving your worth to others. It goes into becoming who you said you'd be. It's not about hype, it's about habits. It's not about noise, it's about respect for yourself, for your vision, and for the work that has to be done. That quiet commitment will take you further than any loud declaration ever could. Because the loudest part of your journey should be your results, not your words. Let your discipline be so solid, so steady, that people are shocked by what you've built when you finally show up. Let your progress be the proof of your promise. Don't wait for motivation to strike again. It might not. But if you built the muscle of silent discipline, you won't need it. You'll already be in motion. You'll already be doing the work. The mood is temporary, but the mission is long-term. That's where the difference is made. Not in the noise of ambition, but in the silence of follow-through. Talkers talk, winners work. In every environment, whether it's business, sports, relationships, or personal development, you'll always find people who can talk a big game. They can describe their dreams in detail. They can list their plans step by step, and they know exactly how things should be done. But when it comes to execution, they fall short. Their energy goes into talking about what they will do rather than doing it. That's the biggest trap of all, getting addicted to sounding successful instead of becoming successful. Real winners understand that words mean nothing without action behind them. They don't waste time explaining themselves or convincing others. They know that the real proof is in the work. While others are busy making announcements, they're making progress. While others are posting about hustle, they're actually hustling. They're up early, staying focused, staying committed, and pushing through the moments that others avoid. Winners understand that you don't get results from declarations, you get results from discipline. You don't build anything valuable by talking about it. You build it by getting your hands dirty, showing up every day, learning, failing, and trying again. There's a certain humility in true success, because people who really work don't need attention. They don't need approval. They let the scoreboard speak. They let their results talk for them. They let their consistency shout louder than any speech they could give. That's why you'll notice the loudest person in the room is rarely the one in control. The real power is quiet. It's focused. It's intentional. Winners don't need to brag because their life becomes the evidence. They don't chase credit, they chase improvement. They don't talk about the grind, they live in it. And because they live in it, they grow in it. People might not notice them at first. They might even be overlooked, underestimated, or doubted, but over time, their work speaks, their growth becomes undeniable, their discipline becomes a weapon. That's what separates the ones who rise from the ones who stay stuck in cycles of empty promises. There's a big difference between potential and performance. Talkers often have potential, but winners are focused on performance. They don't sit around waiting for conditions to be perfect. They move, they act. They correct their mistakes and keep building. Winners understand that every word they speak takes energy, and they rather put that energy into building something real. They're not worried about being seen now, because they're building something that will be seen when it's time. Their silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. Their lack of talk isn't lack of confidence, it's focus. When you understand this, you stop being impressed by people who talk big, and you start respecting people who move quietly. You realize that hard work always outlasts hype. The ones who work in silence will always win over the ones who talk in circles. Because in the end, it's not about what you said you'd do, it's about what actually got done. God honors quiet obedience more than loud declarations. In a world where people are constantly trying to prove themselves, there's a quiet kind of strength that stands out to those who truly understand the journey. It's not in shouting about your plans, your faith, or your intentions. It's in the quiet, unseen moments where you choose to stay the course even when no one else knows the battle you're fighting. It's in those private sacrifices, those silent acts of discipline where your character is forged. Loud declarations might get you attention, but quiet obedience gets you favor. There's a power in doing the right thing when it's hard, when no one claps, and when the payoff isn't immediate. That's where trust is built. Not just trusting yourself, but trusting God's timing. You don't have to perform for the world when you know you're walking in purpose. Obedience is often uncomfortable. It doesn't always make sense to the people around you. It's not always convenient. Sometimes it looks like walking away from opportunities that don't align with your values. Sometimes it means staying still when everything around you is telling you to move. But when you walk in obedience, especially when it's quiet and unnoticed, you're sowing seeds in faith. You're saying to God, I trust you more than I trust the opinions of people. I trust your process more than I trust my plans. That's when things begin to shift, not always immediately and not always in the way you expect, but something deep inside you starts to grow. Peace replaces pressure. Purpose replaces performance. And even though the world might not see your obedience, heaven does. Every time you choose integrity over popularity, every time you stay disciplined when quitting would be easier, every time you pray in silence instead of complaining in public, those are the moments God honors. Those are the moments that build unshakable strength. Loud declarations can be empty without obedience behind them. Saying you have faith is easy when things are going your way, but having quiet obedience means holding on to that faith when the doors stay closed, when the breakthrough is delayed, when the answers don't come on your timeline. That's when true growth happens. That's when you become the kind of person who doesn't just look successful, but is strong from the inside out. Obedience trains you to move with purpose, not pressure. It reminds you that you're not living for the applause, you're living for alignment. Alignment with your calling, your values, your creator. You don't have to shout to prove that you're on the right path. Just keep walking it. The loudest proof of your faith isn't in your words. It's in your walk. It's in how you live, how you serve, how you remain faithful when it's difficult. That kind of quiet strength moves mountains. That kind of discipline opens doors no man can shut. Your habits in private shape your victories in public. It's not the performance in the spotlight that defines who you are. It's what you're doing when no one is watching. The small decisions, the quiet disciplines, the repetitive actions that seem insignificant, those are the building blocks of every major breakthrough. People often admire the success, the confidence, the achievements they see on the surface, but they rarely ask about the structure underneath. That structure is built in solitude. It's formed in the daily choices to stay committed to what matters most. It's forged in the hours of practice, the moments of resistance, and the times when giving up looked easier, but persistence won. Every person who has ever achieved something great has done so not just by performing well in public, but by preparing relentlessly in private. The world doesn't see the 5 a.m. wake-up calls, the books studied late at night, the healthy choices made when temptations were strong, or the effort put into a craft when there was no promise of reward. But those things matter more than any big moment. Habits are what carry you when motivation runs out. They create momentum, and momentum doesn't begin with big moves. It starts with small, consistent actions that stack up over time. When you make a habit of showing up for yourself, you stop needing to prove anything to others. You build an inner confidence that doesn't need applause. That's because you know the work you've done. You know the time you've invested. You know the pain you pushed through. People may see the result and call it talent or luck, but you know better. You know, it was the quiet commitment to your routines, your values, and your long-term vision that created it all. It's easy to be great once in a while. Anyone can shine for a moment, but true success isn't about moments. It's about mastery. And mastery is rooted in routine. It's doing the right thing, the excellent thing, over and over again until it becomes second nature, until it feels wrong not to do it. That's how you win. That's how you rise. And that's why your private life matters so much more than people think. You can't fake discipline. You can't pretend to be consistent. Eventually, the truth shows up in your results. If your habits are weak, your success will be shaky. If your habits are strong, your success will stand no matter what pressure comes. Private habits are like planting seeds underground. No one sees them at first. No one knows what's coming. But if you keep watering, keep working, keep trusting the process, something powerful grows. Then one day it breaks through the surface. That's when people call it success. That's when they notice. But it never would have happened without what you did when nobody noticed, when nobody cared, when it was just you and the work. Stay low, stay focused, stay committed. The noise will come from your results. In a time where everyone seems to be chasing attention, the real strength is found in quiet commitment. Staying low doesn't mean you're hiding or playing small. It means you're choosing substance over show. It means you're more interested in building than boasting. It's a decision to remain grounded, to keep your head down and your heart in the work. The people who truly win in life aren't the ones constantly seeking validation or shouting their progress. They're the ones locked in on their purpose, showing up day after day, undistracted by praise or criticism. They understand that distractions come dressed as noise, opinions, expectations, comparisons, but focus cuts through all that. Focus says, I know where I'm going, and I don't need everyone to see it yet. The louder you live, the more energy you waste trying to manage perception. But when you stay low and focused, every ounce of your energy goes into progress. Every step forward is real, not performative. You don't need to announce your every move because you're too busy making them. Staying committed through the ups and downs is what separates the dreamers from the doers. Commitment isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about staying loyal to what you said you'd do long after the mood in which you said it has left. It means continuing when it's slow, when it's hard, when it feels like no one's paying attention. And truth is, most people quit not because they can't do it, but because they expect results too soon. Staying committed means you stop watching the clock and start trusting the process. It means you work with quiet intensity, believing in the value of what you're building, even when no one else claps for it. You stay on the path not because it's glamorous, but because you've decided it matters. And when you live like that, your results begin to make the noise for you. You won't have to prove yourself. Your life will do that. You won't have to convince anyone. Your growth will be the evidence. That's the beauty of staying low and focused. You skip the need to impress and you go straight to impact. And impact doesn't need to be explained. The world notices the fruit, but it rarely respects the roots. Yet without those deep, silent roots, nurtured in solitude, strengthened in storms, there would be no fruit at all. So you keep watering, keep building, keep showing up. Let others be loud. Let them chase quick wins and applause. You stay grounded. You stay disciplined. You stay about your work, because when the time is right, the noise you've earned won't come from your mouth. It'll come from the undeniable results of your dedication. Your breakthrough will speak louder than any speech ever could. And you'll know it was the quiet work, not the loud words, that got you there.